Welcome back to Royal Chronicles, the channel where royal history, hidden truths, and palace intrigue collide. If you love deep dives into the royal family's most controversial moments, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of royal truth seekers. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let me ask you something. What if I told you that behind palace gates, away from public smiles and royal protocol, there existed emails so shocking they made even seasoned royal watchers stop and reread the words twice? Emails that included phrases like, "marry me," and even more disturbingly, references to Jeffrey Epstein's so-called baby boy. Tonight, we're unpacking one of the most uncomfortable, controversial, and revealing chapters in recent royal history, the emails linked to Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, and what they tell us about power, proximity, and a world the public was never meant to see. Stay with me, because this story only gets darker. The Duchess the public thought they knew. For decades, Sarah Ferguson, affectionately known as Fergie, occupied a unique space in royal life. She was never the icy aristocrat. She laughed loudly, she spoke openly, she hugged strangers. After her divorce from Prince Andrew in 1996, many believed she'd drift quietly out of royal relevance. But behind the scenes, Fergie remained deeply connected, socially, financially, and emotionally, to figures who would later become some of the most controversial names of our time. And it's through leaked emails that this hidden world slowly came into focus. The emails that changed everything. The emails in question didn't surface with trumpets or palace announcements. They emerged through court documents, investigations, and media scrutiny tied to the wider Jeffrey Epstein scandal. And when journalists began combing through them, they found something chilling. Sarah Ferguson wasn't a distant acquaintance. She was present, she was communicative, she was emotionally expressive. In one message, Fergie reportedly wrote words that stunned readers. "Marry me." 3 simple words, but loaded with implications. Was it a joke, a figure of speech, or something far more revealing about the closeness of her relationship with Epstein? Who was Jeffrey Epstein, and why this matters? Let's be clear, Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender whose crimes, associations, and mysterious death continue to haunt institutions across the world, from politics to finance, and yes, royalty. Any connection to Epstein is now viewed through a harsh and unforgiving lens. And that's why these emails matter. Because they suggest comfort, familiarity, and trust, the very things that raise red flags when viewed in hindsight. "Marry me," flippant or frightening. Supporters of Sarah Ferguson argue that the phrase, "marry me," was nothing more than her trademark humor, playful, exaggerated, unserious. But critics see it differently. They ask, why speak so casually to a man already surrounded by whispers? Why use language that implies emotional closeness? And why maintain contact at all? In royal circles, words are chosen carefully. Emails are written with the assumption that one day, they may be read. Which makes this phrase all the more unsettling. Then came the line that froze readers cold. "If, marry me," raised eyebrows. The reference to Epstein's baby boy made jaws drop. The phrase appears in email correspondence in a context that remains deeply troubling, not because of confirmed details, but because of what it suggests. The wording alone was enough to alarm journalists, investigators, and the public alike. What did it mean? Who was being referenced? And why would anyone joke, or speak lightly, using such language, given Epstein's history? No official explanation has ever fully put those questions to rest. The Andrew connection. It is impossible to discuss Sarah Ferguson without addressing Prince Andrew. Despite their divorce, Fergie and Andrew remained unusually close, living together at times, appearing united, and sharing social circles. Andrew's own association with Epstein has been widely documented and publicly scrutinized. So critics ask, was Fergie simply orbiting the same dangerous solar system? Or was she an active participant in maintaining those connections? Emails show that Epstein allegedly helped Fergie financially during difficult periods, including assistance with debts reportedly amounting to tens of thousands of pounds. That alone complicates the narrative. Because money creates silence, and silence creates shadows. Fergie's defense. To date, Sarah Ferguson has denied any wrongdoing. She has stated that she had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes and regrets ever associating with him. Her supporters insist, she was naive, she was financially vulnerable, she trusted the wrong people. And in fairness, many powerful figures across the globe made the same mistake. Or did they? The court of public opinion. In the modern era, royal scandals don't fade quietly. They echo, they replay, they resurface. For many viewers, these emails confirmed a long-held suspicion that parts of the royal orbit existed beyond accountability. That privilege blurred judgment, that charm replaced caution, and that proximity to power often insulated people from consequences until it didn't. Why this still matters today? You might be wondering, why revisit this now? Because history has a habit of repeating itself when lessons are ignored. These emails are not just gossip. They are evidence of culture, a world where warning signs were overlooked, boundaries were blurred, and reputations were protected at all costs. They force us to ask uncomfortable questions. Who gets a pass, and why? How many red flags were waved away as jokes? And how many voices were silenced because the people involved were simply too powerful? The royal family's unspoken rule. One thing becomes painfully clear through all of this. The royal family doesn't just manage image, they manage distance. Distance from scandal, distance from accountability, distance from consequences. And yet, emails have a way of collapsing distance. They don't bow, they don't curtsy, they simply tell the truth, or at least, part of it. Sarah Ferguson remains a complicated figure. Not a villain in a storybook. Not an innocent bystander either. She is a reminder that proximity to power can be both intoxicating and dangerous. And that sometimes, the most revealing scandals aren't shouted from rooftops, they're typed quietly, signed off casually, and only understood years later. Host lower, reflective tone. What do you think? Were these emails harmless words taken out of context? Or did they expose something far more unsettling about life behind palace doors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the royal family's most controversial chapters, don't forget to subscribe to Royal Chronicles, where the crown may glitter but the truth always shines brighter.